Good morning, everybody. So it's Felisa, and I'm back in the car. I don't know. This is so much easier for me. I do have a dedicated space now at home where I can vlog and record and all that kind of stuff. But by the time I get home, so it makes it very difficult. So I find that this is easier. I hope that you guys don't mind, at least for right now, since I'm trying to get content out every day. And I honestly recorded this vlog 3 times yesterday, and I wasn't pleased at all with I just didn't like it. Like, I didn't feel like I actually was saying what I wanted to say. And I don't know why this vlog is so difficult for me, because I'm normally pretty opinionated and I normally can, articulate exactly how I feel and what I feel. But this one is such a sensitive topic. And so anyway, the vlog today is men blaming, or ladies, we need to stop blaming men for everything that goes wrong in our lives. We need to make sure that we are not affixing total blame when there may be partial or minimal blame to be applied. And what I mean is this: we have a tendency to pursue certain decisions, pursue certain situations that have an adverse outcome, and blame the man in the situation, or blame the man in the relationship. And what I mean by that is this: so you find a guy who is giving you all kinds of red flags. I mean, like, he is red flagging. His name is a red flag. And you decide that there's something in this guy that is intriguing, and he appeals to whatever nurturer, fixer, Ayanla part of you that you have, that you feel like you need to go in and fix his life for whatever reason. And I know that I suffered from that for a long, long time, in terms of, being Project Pat, just going out and, getting guys who were broken in some kind of way. That appeals to the nurturer in us. That appeals to the mother in a lot of us. That appeals to, the way that we are fundamentally designed, which is, we have care and concern, and, we feel bad if somebody is struggling. We feel bad if somebody is falling on hard times. We feel bad if, something is occurring that is adverse, and we want to try and make it better, because that's who we are. And a lot of times we take on this responsibility and this role that is almost Messiah-like. I mean, we really do take on a Messiah complex, and we're just gonna fix and save everything and everybody, and we cannot do that. We have got to stop doing that. So anyway, you find this guy with all these red flags. You decided you're gonna pursue this relationship against all of the counsel of your mom and them, your girlfriends and them, every person that's in your life, the person at the Walmart done told you that this is probably not right, and we like, no, everybody is against us. Everybody just want to see us fail, and we're gonna prove it that we're gonna prove that we can do this. Okay, so you pursue this with wild abandon, and it does not work out. Matter of fact, you knew that it wasn't gonna work out probably in the first month, but in order to prove everybody wrong, you needed to stay in it for a little while so that you could actually work it and pretend like this is going the way that you saw it in your head. And so now you look up and you've given this person, this man, 5 years of your life, and it occurs to you that you gave him 4 years and 11 months longer than you should have. And so now you blame him. You blame him for taking your time. You blame him for wasting your time. You blame him for not doing what he was supposed to do. You blame him. I mean, seriously. And some of us have gone on and have children with these guys, and we blame them for being crappy fathers when they were crappy boyfriends or crappy husbands, and we decided that we were going to have babies with these people. And so now our children have crappy fathers, and we looking at them like, why can't you? I stepped up, blah blah. Listen, sis, you can't apply the same logic of responsibility to everyone. Everyone does not follow that narrative. And if he was a terrible boyfriend, if he didn't decide that he wanted to marry you for whatever reason, or maybe he did, because I was married, he married you and he was a terrible husband. Terrible. Why would you make this guy a father? Why would you put yourself in a situation where you have to be the sole and responsible parent? Now, I understand that things happen. I'm aware of how biology works. I'm aware of, oops. But I also am aware that in 100% of all cases that I've ever heard of, sex is at the root of every pregnancy. Every last one of them. So if you're not taking precautions, if you just throwing caution to the wind, if you just, in your late 20s, early 30s, actually, if you're beyond high school and you saying things like, we got caught up in the moment, what moment? Like, how you getting caught up in the moment so far until you forgot that your uterus is unprotected? And so now you find yourself pregnant, and now you find yourself having to deal with this mess on your own. And so your response to that is to be angry and upset at every man and everybody and everything, when that's not the issue. We've got to step back, and we have got to take a responsibility for our role. We have got to at least admit to ourselves that, yeah, I didn't make my best decisions in this particular situation. I did not consider all of the outcomes, and this is what's happened. When you do that, it honestly does a couple of things. Number one, it starts the process of healing, because you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. You cannot change what you do not believe actually occurs. I mean, you just stay in delusion. But after you start the healing, you actually stop the process of continuing to be a victim. And you know how you know that you're a victim? If every time somebody mentions this guy's name, every time you see this guy, every time you think about this guy, you get all upset. You get all bent out of shape. He left me for somebody else. He get on my nerves. If you still having these kind of reactions to somebody, then you really need to check, number one, your forgiveness factor. And listen, I'm not even about to go down that path of forgiveness, but forgiveness is release, and it's never for them. For the other person, it's for you. I hope that you all know that. Forgiving somebody has nothing to do with them. That's about releasing yourself from the responsibility and the obligation of caring. So, go with God, child. Go with God. But I think, just being able to release them and, just say, listen, what you did was messed up. I didn't appreciate it. You hurt me. But I'm choosing to look at it differently. I picked a loser. I picked somebody who was not capable of giving me exactly what I needed and what I deserved. And so often we sell ourselves so short, and we hire people who cannot do the job. We've got to do a better job of interviewing. We've got to do a better job of vetting candidates to be in our lives. We have to do a better job of signing up these guys to be present and ready in our lives when they've demonstrated no capacity to do so. We got to do that. We got to do that for ourselves. We really do. And all this continuous, shifting of the blame and, pointing fingers and, they all don't do anything, because I say the same thing to men when I see, black women, in particular black women this, black women are that. And, some of us are, but not all. In your limited experience, the black women that you've encountered probably are like that. But I would tend to think that it's something about you that draws those women to you. Same thing with us. It's something about us, some type of mechanism within ourselves that brings these people to you. And one of the biggest things that I always think about is, anytime you've gone through any type of pain or trauma or, betrayal or whatever, it leaves a psychological scar, right? It leaves a psychological sore, not a scar, a sore, because it's not healed. So sores come in various stages of healing. Now, an infected sore, a sore that has been left untreated, a deep enough sore that, should have gotten some additional kinds of either antibiotics, or maybe you needed some sutures or something. But, those sores take a little bit longer to heal, and they run the risk of becoming infected. Well, I don't know if y'all have ever really smelled like a wound, but they stink. They stink. And if left untreated, it causes all kinds of not only physical problems, but it can attract flies and pests And yeah, because it smells awful. It smells awful. Well, think about that being on your psyche, or think about that sore being part of your spiritual composition now, or your emotional composition. Now you have a sore that is infected and it stinks. It's gonna attract something. It's gonna attract a user. It's gonna attract the abuser. It's gonna attract, someone who doesn't mean you any good. It's gonna attract the wrong things. That's why it's so important to make sure that you are healed before you just start going off and deciding that you want to be in different relationships. Once you've been in a relationship and you've been hurt, it is so important to take a minute. Just take a minute. I know that there are a lot of people out there with different schools of thoughts. I have a good girlfriend who believes firmly that you go out and you create another situation for yourself, and that is the best way to get over the last man. I don't happen to agree, but I love her so much, and that method works for her. It would never work for me. And so, and I would think that it doesn't work for a lot of people. And so if you're doing that and you're not getting the results that you want, you need to stop and think about, the decisions that you're making, even in that, because you'll create different scenarios for yourself. But at any rate, I just wanted to be able to say that, and I want to be clear, not blaming men and not pointing to them as the sole destroyer of everything great and marvelous in our lives is not the same as not expecting for them to be accountable or not holding them accountable. You must hold them accountable. They may not take accountability, they may not take responsibility, but there are some definitive things that you can point to and you can say, you know what, you are responsible for this. You are responsible for, this relationship not moving forward in the way that I had hoped, and I am going to have to learn how to be okay with that, and I'm going to need to get myself together without you, because these are decisions that you have made, but I own my portion of this, meaning I picked you and I allowed you to be in my life probably longer than I should have, and go on and get your life. I'm going to live my best life, and I hope that you do too. And if we have children together, let's see if we can co-parent these children. But other than that, just release those people. You cannot keep pursuing them and trying to force them to be accountable and to admit to what they did. And, because even a lot of times we get that they admit to what they did and we're still not satisfied because we're still so hurt and we're still so damaged. So that's where the healing takes place, and that's where the healing is crucial. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. I'm just going to upload this vlog and say forget it. I hope that I came across in the way that I really hope. Ladies, I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying simply that it's time for us to take a look at the decisions that we've made, the people that we've selected to be in our lives, and stop allowing ourselves to be victimized. We need to stop giving ourselves passes of victimization. That's it. Okay? Talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Bye.